Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for a super special edition of Against the Odds. So as you know, last week we did not have an Against the Odds poll, and that's because I told you that we are going to be having a very special episode. Well, what I didn't tell you is this might be the most special episode of Against the Odds we've ever done, because we get to do something we've never ever done before on Against the Odds, and that is we are going to reveal a card from Eternal Masters. We have an Eternal Masters spoiler, and we are going to reveal it against the odds style. So I will show off this sweet reprint for Eternal Masters, which is coming out on June 10th, not too far away. And then, since Eternal Masters is a reprint set and we already have access to this card, we're going to jump right into some games and give it the full against the odds treatment. So I won't keep you in suspense any longer. One of the cards that you will be seeing in Eternal Masters a couple of weeks from now is Diminishing Returns. So as you can see, Diminishing Returns is a 4-mana blue sorcery with some super sweet new art, and it is essentially a fixed draw 7, or that was the idea of it, to be a fixed draw 7. You get to draw up to 7 cards. After you shuffle your hand and your graveyard into your library, your opponent also does the same thing. But you have to exile the top 10 cards of your library. So that's supposed to be the downside. You got to exile the 10 cards to be able to get the draw 7. Well, the thing is, sometimes on Against the Odds, we can turn what is supposed to be a downside into an upside. So we are going to be heading to Legacy to play a deck I'm calling Diminishing Maniac, which is built around not just the draw 7 part, but is actually taking advantage of the fact that it exiles those 10 cards. So this is the main combo of the deck. We are looking to get a Laboratory Maniac on the battlefield, a 2/2 for 3 that says if you would draw a card with no cards in your library, you win the game instead of losing it. So instead of decking yourself and dying when you draw an empty library, you actually win if you do that, so you're incentivized to try to draw an empty library. Then we resolve a card called Paradigm Shift, which basically switches your graveyard with your library. It's basically like Inverter of Truth in a 2-mana blue sorcery that you can pitch to Force the Will. So you exile your library and then shuffle your graveyard into your library, which means if we have, 5, 6 cards in our graveyard, our library is suddenly only going to be 5 or 6 cards, which means we're pretty close to winning the game with Laboratory Maniac. Then that's where Diminishing Returns comes in. Diminishing Returns, each player, as I mentioned, shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library, but then you exile the top 10 cards of your library, and then each player draws up to 7 cards. So since you exile 10 cards and then draw 7, as long as there are less than 17 cards in our hand and our graveyard, which is usually pretty easy to achieve with Paradigm Shift, Diminishing Returns will win us the game on the spot with Laboratory Maniac. We exile the 10 cards, draw 7 more cards. One of those draws will be a draw on an empty library, and boom, right there on the spot, we win the game. So that's what we're trying to pull off with Diminishing Returns. Not just being High Tide or being some Storm deck that's trying to draw 7. We're actually trying to take advantage of the fact that it exiles cards. I'm going to go through the rest of the deck super quick so we can get to the matches. Mostly because it's pretty straightforward. We have a bunch of counterspells, Spell Pierces, counterspells, Flusterstorms. Then we have a bunch of free counter magic, which helps us to win those counter wars, plus it can protect our Laboratory Maniac. And then just a bunch of cantrips, Brainstorms, Ponders, Preordains, Gitaxian Probes, ways to find our combo pieces. Mana base, Ancient Tombs, just to speed up the process. Turn 2 Laboratory Maniac, turn 3 Diminishing Returns, because it adds 2 mana. A bunch of fetch lands, some islands, and that is our Diminishing Maniac deck, featuring, as I mentioned, our Eternal Master spoiler, Diminishing Returns. Anyway, I'm super excited. I love draw 7s. I love drawing cards, and this one is a sweet one because it does more than just draw. It actually furthers our plan of winning with Laboratory Maniac. So we are going to jump right into the matches. I have no idea how effective this will be. It's Legacy. Legacy is a hard format to win with crazy things in, but we're going to give it a shot and see if we can use Diminishing Returns to win with the alternate win condition trigger on Laboratory Maniac. Alright, against odds time, playing some Diminishing Returns in Legacy. We'll play first. So pretty much, Lab Maniac combo slash Diminishing Returns should be interesting. Yeah, we'll keep this. Let's just probe and see what our opponent's up to. Blue Blast, whoa, holy. Rhystic Study, 2 blue Elemental Blast, Celestial Colonnade, Devout Lightcaster. So they're planning on changing the colors of things, I think. Flooded Strand, yeah, we'll just pass. Colonnade, another force. Alright, Ancient Tomb, let's probe. Down to 16. Nothing really changed, more Tundras. Ooh, there's our paradigm shift. Now we just need to find Lab Maniacs, Diminishing Returns. Alright, another Flooded Strand, goo. Opponent peaks, expensive probe. It's an instant. Essentially, exactly a Gitaxian probe. That's an instant and costs some mana all the time. So what's good? Brainstorms, Ponders, any of our combo pieces, Diminishing Returns would be pretty sweet. Heuristic Study, we can't let that resolve. Flooded Strand, get an island. Flooded Strand, get an island. Counterspell Heuristic Study. Can't have our opponent drawing all those cards. Ancient Tomb, go. Conjurer's Bauble, sure. Serum Visions. This is a very odd deck. Like half modern, half commander, with a little legacy thrown in. Come on, something good. Alright, Misty, go. Opponent passes. Why do we just Diminishing Returns? Each player shuffles his or her hand and graveyard into his or her library. You exile the top 10 cards of your library. Then each player draws up to 7 cards. Yeah, I guess we do it. Yeah, let's Diminishing Returns. See what gets exiled. We will choose to draw all 7 cards. Ponders, Brainstorms, a Force, and 2 Paradigm Shifts. Yeah, we'll draw 7. Not a single land? We did get a Lab Maniac, though. Alright, let's crack this. Get an island and Brainstorm. Put back Spell Pierce and one of the Laboratory Maniacs. Flooded Strand, you. Opponent cracks it. Another land. Urza's Bauble. Sack it. Whoa. Look at a random card in target player's hand, then draw a card at the beginning of the next upkeep. So you turn them into a million cheap artifacts. Sacks it. Sees our Flusterstorm. Sacks it. Sees our Ponder. Distorting Lens. Target permanent becomes the color of your choice until end of turn. That's where all the color shifting is coming from. Opponent against the odds confirmed. Against the odds mirror. Yeah, I guess we just have to let that go, unfortunately. And also a Painter's Servant. Well, they got all the color shifting stuff they could possibly want. Everything is red. Okay. The cards look very is-it. Alright, let's see what we get. Our opponent gets to draw 2 cards. Let's Ponder. Spell Pierce, Brainstorm, Spell Pierce down, Island. Let's draw the Brainstorm. And then let's crack Flooded Strand, get an island, Brainstorm, put back a Laboratory Maniac, Counterspell, play the island, Diminishing Returns again. Our opponent's going to try to destroy a land, so we will Flusterstorm the Blue Blast. Just keep them all on the same targets. Alright, Diminishing Returns, we'll draw 7, and I guess we just gotta pass, unfortunately. Hopefully they don't destroy too many of our lands. Bauble, Flooded Strand, cracks it. We're getting close, we're down to 25 cards in our library. Bauble. Alright, Distorting Lens a land. Makes it black. Devout Lightcaster, going to exile our land. Blue Blast a land. The jank is strong. Serum Visions. Look at this board. The colors are so ridiculous looking. Another Painter's Servant. If we draw Paradigm Shift, we win. That's our hope. I don't know if we can Brainstorm into it. We take 1. If we just peel it off the top, we win. Opponent draws Brainstorm. Force, Ancient Tomb, Force. Put back Flusterstorm. Put back Counterspell. Misty, crack Misty. Get an island. Laboratory Maniac. Diminishing Returns. We just couldn't find the Paradigm Shift. There it is. Too little, too late. And pass the turn. That does it. Alright, well, we got close. We diminished returns a lot of times, but couldn't quite get there. Yeah, good God. I guess we can go down Flusterstorms for Counterspell. I guess Echoing Truth? I don't know what to do against this deck. Alright, run it back. Alright, we get to play first. We got some cantrips. So let's just land. Let's probe for 2 life. Blue Blast, Soul Foundry. Exile a creature from your hand, put a copy of it on the battlefield. Alright. We do not need to leave up Spell Pierce. Preordain, bottom both the lands. And, oh, diminishing returns. Alright, interesting. Now we're like a Lab Maniac away. We have the combo. Hallowed Fountain, tapped. Island, go. Cracks Flooded Strand. Hallowed Fountain, tapped. And Probe. Alright, let's probe again. Draw a card. Distorting Lens, Blue Blast, Hydroblast, and Soul Foundry. Well, we're kind of flooding a bit. Alright, pass the turn. Crystal Shard. Return a creature you control to its hand unless its owner pays 1. Let's Spell Pierce that. I think we might just Diminishing Returns this coming turn anyway, since we don't have anything going on. Crag Polluted Delta. Island. So Ancient Tomb, Diminishing Returns. Draw 7. Ooh. Hoo hoo hoo. Oh, we're so close. We drew into everything we needed. Oh, we're so close. With Pact and Negation back up. We need a Brainstorm for the win next turn. Or a Preordain. No, not Preordain. Yeah, we are super close. Opponent bobbles, sees our Lab Maniac. Because we can Lab Maniac, Paradigm Shift. I guess we can do it in 2 turns for sure. Alright, let's Spell Pierce Soul Foundry. So Brainstorm should win it this turn. If not, Diminishing Returns should win it the following turn. Ponder? Well, 1, 2, 3. Laboratory Maniac. Maybe we're just going to have to wait another turn. Well, let's Ponder. Bottom, bottom, top. Well, top, 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 but we get a Force of Will this turn. And now we pass the turn and try to win next turn with the Diminishing Returns combo. Distorting Lens. Yeah, let's force pitching the second Lab Maniac. Fabricate. Alright, I think we got it. Oh, it's gonna work. I can't believe this is gonna work. Jester's Mask. That's fine. 4, 5, 6. Alright, Crack Flooded Strand. I have a hard time imagining us losing it now. So, land. We 1, 2, 3. First up, Paradigm Shift. Exiles our library, puts our graveyard in our library, 5 cards in our library. Diminishing Returns, the new staple from Eternal Masters. We draw 7, exile our library, and... Oh, we did it! We did it, boys and girls! Diminishing Returned, the best reprint in Modern Masters. Oh, Eternal Masters, I mean. I said Modern Masters. Doesn't get any better than that. Can Force of Will do that? No. Can Wasteland do that? No. So, as you open your Eternal Masters, root for Diminishing Returns. Head to game 3! Sure. Hallowed Fountain. Island and Ponder. Well, yeah, we'll draw these. Draw Preordain this turn, Maniac next turn. Uh-oh. Is this going to be a Distorting Lens right away? Ugh. That's not good. Well, land, Preordain, bottom, and top force. Pass the turn. Hopefully our lands don't start getting blown up. That would be bad. Peek. Alright. Storm Visions. Distorting Lens our island. Well, we're definitely Spell Piercing if they try to... Yeah. Alright, let's Spell Pierce. Can't have that happening. Well, let's start on Preordain. Put both lands to the bottom. Probe for 2 life. Soul Foundry, Fabricate, Distorting Lens. Alright. Ooh, there's the shift too. Ancient Tomb, Lab Maniac. Go. Fabricate, sure. Gets a Painter's Servant. Well, let's Paradigm Shift. And I think we're going to get there. We get to Ponder into a Ponder. Island, Ponder, Spell Pierce, Preordain, Probe. No. Alright, pass the turn. So I think we can do it next turn, and we have 2 counters. So our opponent's going to have to draw something pretty good here. Painter's Servant. Alright, that doesn't kill Lab Maniac. Well, a red lab. We're going to win with a red Lab Maniac in a Diminishing Returns combo deck. Oh my god. Let's Preordain. Bottom, top. Let's Probe. Nothing to ruin our plans. Preordain, and that should do it. Sweet! Lab Maniac Diminishing Returns. I mean, that was a weird matchup, but still, we got to see how the combo is supposed to work in Legacy. Oh, yes. Now I'm getting excited for Eternal Masters. Even more excited. Alright, against odds times, Diminishing Maniac in Legacy. Double Pact of Negation is not going to be good until we're literally comboing off. Can we even keep this? I like all the cantrips, but we really need land. I think we got to shuffle. And a Diminishing returns. Polluted Delta. Alright, let's brainstorm. Oh no. Oh no. Yep. Alright. Well then. So much for that plan. Creeping Tar Pit. Oh my god, the third Pact of Negation. We are in serious trouble. Another creature land. Force of Will. Well, it's time to start discarding. We will start with Pact of Negation. This isn't going to go well. Well, there's an island. That's something at least. I guess our best bet is to get to Diminishing returns. Brainstorm. Polluted Delta. No shuffle yet. Not a land. Okay. We'll pitch the Laboratory Maniac for now. That's a long way away from being helpful. Now we're going to start getting beaten down by creature lands. Cracks a fetch. Are they going to hard cast a force? Alright, let's Spell Pierce. We really got to find lands. Alright, that's a land. Put back a Pact of Negation. I guess both Pacts of Negation for now. Play Polluted Delta. And let's crack Polluted Delta. When it cracks their Scalding Tarn, are they going to try to stifle? What is this deck? They are going to try to stifle. Well, I think we got to force pitching Counterspell. Get a land, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Spell Pierce isn't even good here. Let's ponder. Alright, Maniac, Rainforest, and Shift. No shuffle. Pass the turn. Factory coming in. We could use more actual interaction now. We're kind of short on that, so we might have to try to wait a couple turns. Draw the fetch. Alright, let's brainstorm. Put back Island and Misty Rainforest. Play Ancient Tomb and pass the turn. Another land for our opponent. Fires up a factory. Fires up a factory. Gets in 4/4. We're down to 11. We draw the land. Play the land. Let's think about this. Alright, let's play a Laboratory Maniac. Pass the turn. Opponent probably has Bolt. Another land. Cracks Flooded Strand for an Underground Sea. Creeping Tar Pit activated. Alright. We untap, get an island, play an island. Let's shift. Paradigm Shift. And then crack Misty Rainforest. Oh my god. That was bad sequencing. Very bad sequencing. Diminishing returns. Definitely should have tried to crack the fetch first. That was pretty obvious. And there's the counter. Alright. This seems like a really bad matchup. Because they are trying to win with creature lands, and we just do not have answers to creature lands. I guess our best bet is to bring in our needles to needle the creature lands. And that's about as good as we can do. Going down, Pact of Negation, a Probe, a Preordain, and a Counterspell. Try it like that. Alright, we get to play first. We got double Diminishing returns. So let's just Probe to start off. Pay 2 life. Counterspell, Counterspell, Standstill, and lands. Another Diminishing returns. Alright, so let's Island go. Scalding Tarn. Flooded Strand, go. Flooded Strand. Alright, let's brainstorm. See if this draws out a Counterspell. Alright, so put back Diminishing returns and Island. Sack Flooded Strand. Oh, they drew a Stifle, seriously? That was their draw? Oh, they're gonna brainstorm to try to find a Stifle. And apparently they found one. No, they did not. Alright, Island. Let's Probe. Counterspell, Counterspell, Standstill, and lands. Flooded Strand, crack it. Get an Island, and Needle on Factory. Because next turn, we're hopefully going to resolve a Diminishing returns. So, Ancient Tomb, Diminishing returns. Counterspell, let's Flusterstorm Counterspell. And returns resolves. We get a new hand. There's a Lab Maniac. Yeah, let's Probe. We could use a Force of Will or something. Force, Pyroblast, Surgical Extraction, and a bunch of factories and a Creeping Tar Pit. There's a Force. We are getting there. There's the Tar Pit. Surgical Extraction are Diminishing returns. Alright. We want to find another needle for this Tar Pit, though. So let's lead on Brainstorm. Put back a Pact of Negation. Put back a Overgrown Tomb. Play a fetch land. Crack the fetch land. Get an island. And then, let's hard cast a probe. Let's pay life. 2 factories, force, another tar pit, brainstorm. There's the needle. So put back, land, and then needle on creeping tar pit. Alright, pass the turn. I feel like we've sort of stabilized, and we have a handful of forces. Opponent passes. We play Misty Rainforest. Alright, get our last island, good to know. And Laboratory Maniac. Pass the turn. Another land. Oh, there's a shift, too. Well, I guess this is where things go crazy. Let's paradigm shift. And pass the turn. Gotta keep our Maniac alive. That's the name of the game. Misty, pass the turn. We gotta find our cantrips is what we really need. Another creeping tar pit. Flooded strand, pass the turn. Another factory. Alright, let's probe. Actually, let's pay life. Probe our opponent. Stifle, Spell Pierce, Red Blast, Pyroblast, Force of Will. Alright, that is a lot of potential disruption. Brainstorm. And that does it! Our opponent did not counter the Brainstorm. We draw 3 with the Maniac on the battlefield, and that does it! Even with diminishing returns getting exiled. Oh, combo! Those pithing needles are super good. Alright, needle, brainstorm, pierce. Seems solid. Volcanic. Alright, let's land and, yeah, let's preordain. Maniac to the bottom, needle to the top. Pass the turn. Pluto Delta. We get an island, and let's needle. Opponent brainstorms. Cracks the fetch. It looks like they're going to fight over this. Maybe. Nope. We're just going to start with factory. It's the cheapest to activate. And pass the turn. Underground Sea. We get another island. Alright, let's needle on tar pit. Island, pass the turn. Alright. Surgical extraction, preordain. I think they just want to see our hand because we only have maybe 1 more preordain or maybe 0. Alright, pass the turn back. Wasteland. Alright, flooded strand, go. Underground Sea for our opponent. Alright, let's brainstorm. Ooh, those are some good draws. Counterspell and probe, and then actually draw them. And now, let's play Pluto Delta. Let's probe, see what's in our opponent's hand. Force, Jace, Spell Snare. Okay, well, let's ponder. We'll keep those. Probe, same cards. Crack Pluto Delta, get an island, and let's pass and leave up all our counters. We want Spell Pierce, Counterspell, and Flusterstorm. Opponent passes, we brainstorm. Shift in 2 lands. Let's put back the 2 lands. Draw 1 of them. Play 1 of them. Crack Flooded Strand. Get an island. Crack Flooded Strand. Get an island. And diminishing returns. We can force it through. They're going to force. Can we force it through? I guess actually we can't. So, alright. They force pitching a Spell Snare. So they have Force, Spell Snare, Jace, and 1 unknown. Still got a good 2 for 1 there. Snapcaster Mage, eh? Well, unfortunately, we gotta let that go. That was their draw last turn. That was a good draw. They're gonna flashback Surgical Extraction on diminishing returns. Alright, we can win the natural way. We have so many cantrips in our graveyard. We don't have a good Snapcaster answer, unfortunately. Opponent has Sensei's Divining Top. I guess we gotta let that go. So basically, we're just looking for a Laboratory Maniac. So if we exile everything now, without the Maniac, things go bad. Like, we just can't win. Standstill. Well, let's counterspell standstill. Opponent spell snares. How much do we care about standstill? Probably a decent amount. Well, let's Flusterstorm the spell snare. Letting our opponent draw 3 would be bad. They can force pitching Jace if they really want it to resolve, but then their shield's down. We draw force. Not super helpful. I mean, it could be helpful eventually, but we gotta get a Lab Maniac in the next 3 draws. Cantrips also help. Down to 7 from the Snapcaster. There's a Maniac. Oh, can we go for it? Alright, let's Paradigm Shift and pass the turn. This is going to be really close. How many counter spells or disruption spells does our opponent have? The top is not helping. Well, it's helping our opponent, not helping us, because it's finding them more action, I'm sure. Polluted Delta, not really what we wanted. So Delta, go. But this means another top activation. I don't know if we're going to be able to win the counter war. Our opponents had 3 top activations, so they probably are loaded with disruption. Be nice if they did something foolish like tap out. Counterspell doesn't really help. Alright, well, we got to go for it next turn regardless. But I don't know if that will do it. They're going to Surgical Extraction Standstill to shuffle. Well, let's Force. Because Force is going to be a dead card anyway, because we're going to be at 1 life, so we wouldn't be able to pay the alternate casting cost. Which means I think we're going to lose. We get a Probe. Laboratory Maniac. Probe our opponent. Spell Snare, Spell Pierce, Pyroblast, Jace Force. Yeah, we can't beat that. And that does it! So close! We actually won a game against a pretty real Legacy deck. Well, still not bad. Alright, against odds time. Diminishing returns in Legacy. We are, a Laboratory Maniac away from winning? I mean, we need mana and protection, but let's ponder. Can we keep these? Yeah, let's draw Brainstorm. Pass turn. We can shuffle away the second Diminishing returns. Ponder. Probe. Well, now our opponent knows what's up. Passes it back. Alright. Misty, go. Opponent cracks Flooded Strand. Gets an island. Brainstorms. Okay. Preordain. What is this deck? A Storm deck, maybe? It's a lot of cantrips. Polluted Delta. Duress. Alright, let's crack Misty. Get an island. Shuffle away that Diminishing returns. Brainstorm. Put back Flusterstorm and Brainstorm. And then our opponent can take one of these. Takes the counterspell. Alright, island, go. Opponent cracks Delta, plays a Delta. Show and Tell. Well, I guess we gotta fight this. So let's Brainstorm. Put back the 2 Lab Maniacs. And then Blusterstorm the Show and Tell. Same targets. Alright, let's start with Probe. See what our opponent has going on. Pieces of the Puzzle, Omniscience, and Force of Will. Alright, so let's Laboratory Maniac, Island, pass the turn. We want to get down the Lab Maniac before we Diminishing returns. They literally peeled another Show and Tell. Well, that was super unlucky. They get... Yep, that does it. Wow. Wow! Our opponent drew the perfect card. Alright, Counterspell comes in. We want all our counters. I guess we can go down maybe an extra Laboratory Maniac. Actually, no, let's go down, well, yeah, let's go down a Lab Maniac. And run it like that, all counters. So let's lead on Probe. Force, Pieces of the Puzzle, Ponder, and Spell Pierce. Okay, and lands. Ooh, Ancient Tomb. Alright. Island, go. Ponder for our opponent. Ooh, Diminishing returns. Alright, Misty, Brainstorm. What are we putting back here? We don't really want to shuffle this stuff away. I guess we can probably shuffle away Paradigm Shift here. And I guess the Polluted Delta? Well, let's put back Ancient Tomb. Paradigm Shift and Ancient Tomb. Pass the turn and plan on drawing Ancient Tomb. Tropical Island. And another Ponder. Ponder into Ponder. Alright, let's draw Ancient Tomb. Crack Misty. Get an island. Play Polluted Delta. Brainstorm. Pact of Negation, Ponder, Ponder. Well, let's put back Pact of Negation and a Ponder for now and pass the turn. Hopefully not have to crack a fetch land because we kind of want the Ponder, although we could shuffle it away because we have another one. Flooded Strand, cracks it. So it's probably going to be Pieces of the Puzzle. The question's going to be, do we... It's a Thoughtseize. Okay. Takes Pact of Negation. Interesting. Alright, let's just draw and Ponder. That's a lot of good stuff. Well, let's take Counterspell, Force of Will, Pact of Negation. Play the Ancient Tomb. Let's just pass for now. Leave up all of our counters. Brainstorm, sure. No fetch land to shuffle. Opponent passes. Alright, we draw the Force. Let's Ponder. Do we want the Flooded Strand? Let's take Flooded Strand, crack Polluted Delta to shuffle away the other stuff. Play Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. We have so much disruption, I don't really want to just shuffle this hand away. Well, we need to find a Lab Maniac before we try that. Opponent's up to 8 cards, so they're either going to have to start discarding or make land drops. Looks like they're just going to discard, and Emrakul shuffles everything back in. Alright, Ponder, I think we'll keep these. Let's go Island Preordain Flusterstorm. Draw Flusterstorm, pass the turn. Opponent makes their land drop, cracks it immediately. We're gonna have a counter fight at some point. Do we care about that? Alright, they can pieces of the puzzle. They get probably a Spell Pierce and a Force, I guess? They take Spell Pierce and Ponder. Okay. And they're gonna have to discard a Spell Pierce. We preordain. Let's go Island Bottom, Polluted Delta top. We do want to make a land drop. Polluted Delta, go. I just don't know if it's worth doing anything here. We could Diminishing Returns and force it through, but our hand we have so much disruption, it's going to be hard for our opponent to do anything. We get another Polluted Delta, pass the turn. We can't really Paradigm Shift yet, because we don't have our finisher. Show and Tell. Alright, let's just counterspell that. Opponent passes. Flooded Strand, go. Well, we got all the mana. Opponent's going to pass and discard a Omniscience. We get another Diminishing Returns. Alright, let's pass for now. I'm just not sure Diminishing Returns is good for us here. Pieces of the puzzle. Duress, Cunning Wish, Brainstorm. They're going to go with Duress. Let's just hardcast a Force on Duress. Opponent has to discard a Disfigure. Good choice. Alright, we still have a decent amount of counters. We can wait another turn. I just don't know if Diminishing Returns helps us. We still don't have Lab Maniac. Everything gets shuffled back in. Who knows what we'll draw? Yeah, let's wait another turn. Brainstorm. Opponent has Ancient Tomb. Another pieces of the puzzle. Cunning Wish, Brainstorm, Noxious Revival. Takes Noxious Revival and Cunning Wish. Let's see what we draw. Opponent has to discard a land. Is now the Diminishing Returns time? Yeah, let's do it. Diminishing Returns. We draw 7. That's not bad. Let's probe our opponent. They have, lots of cantrips. That's a Pact of Negation, though. Now let's Brainstorm, put back an Island and an Ancient Tomb. Play Ancient Tomb, crack Polluted Delta, get an Island. Laboratory Maniac. Opponent's going to Brainstorm. Good to make them use it now with no shuffle. Makes it less effective. They're going to force pitching a Ponder. Okay. We have more Maniacs. Then we'll crack Polluted Delta, get an Island, and Ponder. Yeah, we'll keep the Ponder. And let's just pass. We might just Diminishing Returns again next turn. Cracks Polluted Delta. Ponders. No shuffle. Pieces of the puzzle. Spell Pierces, Preordains, pieces of the puzzle, Brainstorms. Jeez, well, we're definitely just going to Diminishing Returns next turn, just to reset their hand. So let's play Polluted Delta, and, well, actually, let's Ponder first. Ponder. Ooh, these are some decent cards. Well, let's take Probe, no shuffle, cast, see what our opponent has. Thoughtseize, Show and Tell, pieces of the puzzle, Omniscience, oh. Alright, yeah, we definitely need to do this. Diminishing Returns. Our opponent kinda had the nuts. Well, man, can we win here? Not quite. We are close. Alright, let's probe. We're getting low on life is the problem. Brainstorm, wish, pieces, preordain, Thoughtseize. Alright, let's pass. Opponent goes with Thoughtseize. Takes a force. Pieces of the puzzle, sure. Reveals force, show and tell, pieces of the puzzle, spell pierce. Takes force and something. Goes with show and tell. I think we let this resolve, oddly enough. Oh, that is ridiculous. Well, we force, pitching, ponder. Opponent forces back, crack Polluted Delta, get an island, brainstorm, opponent brainstorms. This has been a super frustrating match. Oh my god. Put back the 2 lands, let that resolve, Pact of Negation, the Cunning Wish. Opponent puts it back on top of their deck, preordains, and that does it. We can't crack enough lands to counterspell. Oh my goodness. Both games we were in a position to win, and our opponent just happened to top deck without cantrips a perfect card. That was, oh my god, annoying. Oh. Alright, against odds time, Diminishing Return. zero lander. We could try to probe into a land, and if we hit one, then we can brainstorm and ponder. I think we just gotta ship it. This hand is a little worse. Really need a cantrip. Well, alright, we'll keep Pluto Delta. A fast diminishing returns is actually decent, if it resolves. Ancient, oh, is this Eldrazi? Ugh. Chalice on 1 is not good. Land go. Eldrazi Mimic. Okay, another Ancient Tomb. And Eldrazi Mimic. Yikes. We might just instantly die. Polluted Delta, go. Ayavugan, thought not. Well, crack this, get an island. Crack this, get an island. Counterspell the thought not. Take 4. Well, Ancient Tomb. Diminishing returns. Draw 7. Oh my god. Oh, yeah, we're dead. That was a very bad draw 7. Chalice on 1 is very bad for us, and this matchup might just be very bad for us. Alright. We're not going to let our opponent see our hand. Yikes! This might not go well. Do we even have anything good against Eldrazi? Not really. They have Caverns. I guess Echoing Truth can bounce. Yeah, we might want Echoing Truth. Going down Flusterstorm and try it like that. Alright, we get to play first. This isn't bad. Paradigm Shift could make this hand very good, actually. So, Island, go. We want to be able to brainstorm if they have Chalice on 1. Ayavugan. Endless 1. Oh my goodness, this is just a nut draw. Well, let's brainstorm. Another Diminishing Returns, another Ancient Tomb. Let's put back Diminishing Returns, Ancient Tomb. Untap. Ancient Tomb, Laboratory Maniac, pass the turn. If they can play a... Oh man, Thought Not Seer here, that's really bad for us. So they can, if they have one. There it is, Thought Not. Hey, Eldrazi Nut Draw. Takes Echoing Truth. Gets in for 6. Well, Flooded Strand, crack it, get an island. Might as well Diminishing Returns. Draw 7. Oh god. Alright, pass the turn. This seems like a nearly unwinnable matchup. Thought not. Yeah, that does it. Wow, we are not going to beat Eldrazi very often. Whew, that was a beatdown. At least it went quick. Alright, against odds time, playing some Diminishing Returns in Legacy. And, meh, this hand's fine. We got cantrips. Got a Lab Maniac. Ooh, Urza's Power Plant. Tron in Legacy? We do not have Wastelands, which is bad. Well, let's take a peek, see what's up. I don't know what to say. Cephalid Coliseum, Asvu Mana Threshold, Gilded Lotus, Roki Hatchery, Platinum Angel, Sun Crusher? Yeah, alright, I have no idea what's happening. But our opponent isn't... Whoa, that's sweet. Well, let's land and ponder. Weird matchups all around. Yeah, I think this is fine. Keep our cantrips. No shuffle. Draw the ponder, then we can draw the brainstorm next turn. Shuffle stuff away, and we're kind of close to just winning, in all honesty. Our opponent peeled an Iron Mirror. I don't know about this deck, opponent. Well, let's brainstorm. Ooh, Ancient Tomb is kind of sweet. Put back a Laboratory Maniac. Put back a Flooded Strand. Play a Misty Rainforest. Crack it, get an island. Shuffle that stuff away. And ponder. We kind of just wanted Diminishing Returns. Alright, we'll draw the forest, that's fine. We're going to draw land, which isn't great, but that's alright. We can shuffle away the second land. And we have a brainstorm to get rid of the first one. Iron Mirror. Oh, what's happening? Whisper Silk Cloak. Alright, sure. Well, let's Flooded Strand, crack it, shuffle away that stuff. We kind of just want to find a Diminishing Returns. Let's see. Yeah, let's just play our Laboratory Maniac. So we're about 2 turns away from winning if we find a Diminishing Returns. Otherwise, we got to do it the slow way. Alright, Whisper Silk Cloak equipped. Shroud unblockable. Opponent's going aggro. Things I never thought I'd see in Legacy. Alright, there it is. That was easy. So we Paradigm Shift, swap out our Library and Graveyard, play an island, pass the turn. And then basically next turn we just diminishing returns, and that'll be lethal. And combo's actually pretty sweet with diminishing returns. Opponent has 6 mana, Gilded Lotus, sure. We just Ancient Tomb, diminishing returns, and that'll do it. Exile 10, draw 7, puts us at 0 cards, Maniac on the battlefield. Good game, well played. I can't believe that this combo, I mean, we're playing some really weird matchups, which I'm sure is helping, but we are winning. Counterspell in, I don't even know, again, so confused. I guess Echoing Truth? We probably can't play Flusterstorm. Maybe go down a Pact Negation, try it like that. Okay, we have some stuff, some cantrips. Our opponent, Urza's Mine, passes. Ooh, there's Maniac too. Flooded Strand, go. Ooh, they're gonna have Tron. Alright, let's crack Flooded Strand, get an island, and Polluted Delta, go. We have a couple counter spells, which helps, even if they have Tron. Not Tron. Ancient. Urza's Miners, Urza's Power Plant, Ancient Den, Whisper Silk, Cloak. Alright, let's brainstorm here. Brainstorm, Ancient Tomb. Alright, let's pitch Echoing Truth, and I guess we gotta get rid of a Brainstorm, as crazy as that sounds. Sack Polluted Delta to shuffle. Get an island. Do you just want to brainstorm again? Not great value. Yeah, let's brainstorm and we can ponder to shuffle something away if we need to. Counterspell, probe. We'll just draw all that stuff. So untap, probe our opponent, see what's up. Mycosith Lattice, double Mirrodin Core's Summoning Station. Put a 2/2 colorless Pincher creature token on the battlefield. When an artifact goes to the graveyard, you can untap it. So this is probably some sort of crazy combo deck. Let's then ponder. Kind of just wanted diminishing returns. Alright, Echoing Truth, Flooded Strand, Brainstorm, no shuffle. Then we'll play an island, and we could just do this now and just try to cantrip into it. Let's wait. Pass the turn. The problem with not exiling everything now is we're going to start getting counterspells in the graveyard, potentially. Mirrodin's Core can charge up to add a mana of any color. And another Whisper Silk Cloak, in case they need 2 creatures unblockable and shrouded. Draw a Flooded Strand. Let's Ancient Tomb, Laboratory Maniac, and pass the turn for now. Just in case they draw Tron and something crazy. Leave up the counterspell. Mirrodin's Core. Gilded Lotus, fine. Don't really care about Gilded Lotus. Yeah, let's brainstorm. See if we can hit diminishing returns. Ponder, Echoing Truth. Alright, put back the Echoing Truths. Untap, Flooded Strand, crack it. Get an island, and ponder. Probe, fetch land. Let's just shuffle. There's a diminishing returns. Oh, we can't win yet, though. Well, let's paradigm shift. Do the switch with our graveyard and library, and I guess we'll get in for 2. We should be able to win next turn. Diminishing returns, OP. We have benefited from people playing some crazy decks in the legacy queues for some reason. Everyone's on against the odds today, in their own way. We do need to defend our Laboratory Maniac at all costs, because that is our only way of even possibly winning this game. Orochi Hatchery. Sure. So they can pay 5 to make a 1/1 snake. Talk about OP. And they will make the snake. Where's this going? That was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, a million mana make a snake? Okay. Well, we get to... Actually, let's, yeah, we just went from diminishing returns. Exiles the top 10, puts us down to 0, draws us cards, and that'll do it. The best combo in Legacy when you're playing against Orochi Hatchery. Oh, our opponent doesn't have a chance. That actually works, though. I can't believe that combo works. It's so sweet. So what did we learn this week? Well, Diminishing Returns in the Laboratory Maniac combo deck is actually really good. We won 5 games, somewhat aided by the matchups, but 5 out of 12 games, which isn't the worst. And we actually won 2 whole matchups, thanks to Tron and I don't even know what we call the first deck, Painter's Lens, maybe? I don't know. But we ran into some against the odds matchups and pulled out some wins. We also got a win from Landstill, which was pretty sweet. But in almost every single game we won, it was directly because of Diminishing Returns. The ability to cast a Paradigm Shift and get anywhere below 17 cards in your library, and then just cast a Diminishing Returns with a Lab Maniac on the battlefield and win the game is actually pretty strong. It can work, is what I'm trying to say. Yes, there's problems with it. One of it being that Laboratory Maniac is pretty fragile. Another being, in certain matchups, like the Eldrazi matchup, we just did not have answers. They have Cavern of Soul, they can empty their hand, we cast Diminishing Returns, draw them into a bunch more Thought-Knot Seers, and that just goes really poorly. But in theory, we can win pretty quickly just by doing our thing. Of course, it's never going to be a competitive deck in Legacy. The thing with Legacy is the format is so efficient and so powerful that a synergy or combo has to be extremely good and extremely reliable to be able to be better than the other options in the format. A really good example of this was when we played against Omnitel. So essentially, we are a 3-card combo where we have to resolve a Lab Maniac, a Paradigm Shift, and a Diminishing Returns. I mean, of course, there's ways we can win without the entire combo, but that's the main way we win the game. So we need to get all 3 of these cards, and we use our cantrips and counter spells to protect them. Hope our Lab Maniac doesn't die. Hope we can force through our Diminishing Returns, and then we win the game. And then you look at a deck like Omnitel, and they're just like, oh, all right, I have a 1-card combo called Show and Tell. I play that, I put an Omniscience into play or an Emrakul into play, and I win the game. So they just are doing something equally powerful, because you can't get any more powerful than just winning the game. So they're doing something as powerful as we are, but they're doing it with 1 card, or maybe 1.5 cards, I guess, because you need the Emrakul or Omniscience in hand. So it's really hard for a strategy like this to be competitive, but it was super sweet. As far as Diminishing Returns in specific, the card is really sweet, and the thing I'm most excited about is we were able to turn the downside, the exiling part of Diminishing Returns, into an upside and into one of the reasons to play the card. Of course, we wouldn't play it if it was just exile the top 10 cards of your library, but that is a key part to our combo. We're not playing it because, oh, that's our spoiler card, and we decided not to play Time Spiral, a better draw 7, or Wheel of Fortune or something. We are playing it because it really is the perfect card for what we're trying to do. And I love when that happens on Against the Odds. I hate feeling like, oh, we're just playing a subpar version of something else. I like feeling like we're playing the best version of something. Maybe the something isn't that great, but we are playing the best version of it. And in our deck, Diminishing Returns certainly was the best draw 7 and the best combo piece for what we were trying to do in our deck. So that was awesome that it turned out that way. Anyway, as a reminder, if the last 45 minutes wasn't enough, Diminishing Returns coming in Eternal Masters on June 10th. I'm super excited for the set. I'm definitely planning on picking one up, doing a box opening video. It's going to be awesome. And if you're looking for something to do with your Diminishing Returns other than playing, I don't know, Belcher in Vintage or Commander, you can throw together a Laboratory Maniac combo, and why you're not going to win a Legacy GP or SCG Open. You can definitely have fun on the kitchen table with it and win in a way that will definitely make your opponents take notice. It definitely has the wow factor when you Laboratory Maniac and exile everything with Paradigm Shift and then win with Diminishing Returns. Anyway, make sure to check out the website, mtggoldfish.com, if you enjoyed our super special spoiler edition of Against the Odds featuring Diminishing Returns. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe button that are about to pop up on the bottom of your screen. Anyway, thanks again so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our Legacy spoiler Against the Odds featuring Diminishing Returns, and I will talk to you soon.